Hello guys, good evening all. Welcome back to once again my YouTube channel Code with DK Show. I hope everybody doing fine. Okay, so let's proceed for today's session. So in today's session, guys, we are going to discuss very important topic, right? In SQL. Today's session we are going to discuss about schema. What is a schema? Why we are using a schema? What is the advantage of the schema if I am using in SQL? Is it clear? So first of all, we are going to understand what do you mean by schema, right? How is schema creating by default in SQL? What is the by default schema name? And how to create our own schema place of the by default schema. Right, by default already coming. But if I want to create my own schema, so how can we do that? Right? So what schema does basically? Schema basically the one kinds of logical structure of the data. Is provide the logical list of the structured data. I can say suppose I create one schema. Within one schema I'm able to create multiple table based on the one schema. So this is a schema is one of the root cause, right? There's one root schema. Based on that I'm going to create all the table inside. For example, suppose I'm creating project for the school management system, right? And in that session what I does school management system is like my database name, right? Same as it is, I can create one schema as a school management system. In one schema I'm going to create a number of table, like for example employee details, student details, exam details, student fee detail, employee salary details, transportation details, or any specific detail. You getting my point? So this is a way we are going to create a schema. So schema basically provide a list of structure of my data, right? So let's proceed and see how to see the practically and how to understand step by step, right? That would be more clear for all of you, right, guys? So let's see. So as you can see, my register already opened here. So how can we see the schema inside it? I will take a fresh file, new queries, control N even you can use, and come to the view, object explorer. So how by default schema created here? Let me proceed and explore step by step. First click on the database. In database you have to open any database here. I open DKS DBA as you can see here. And I just open the table here. I extend table. Now in DKS DBA you can see there's a lot of table I have already created here. Right? I want to open any specific one. Suppose I open here DKS company here, and in that one I want to see the column, right? Or any specific one you can see. Look it. These all are the table: customer details, DKS company, employee details. There are a lot of tables here, right? Same as it is, you can check for any specific database here. See, suppose I open the DK school table. It's loading now. Just wait for a moment. So I have created two table here: employee detail and student detail. So as you can see, before the table is coming dbu dot employee details, dbu dot student detail. Did you see guys here? So what do you mean by dbu here? This is a schema name. Dbu stand for database object. DBA stand for what? Database object. But if interviewer said, can we create our own schema place of DBU? Yes, of course, we can create our own schema name as well. You get my point? That one I'm trying to explain, guys. So this one is going to say practically, we can create our own schema name also, isn't it? So let's see how to proceed. So I select database here, use DKS school, select F5, command completed successfully. So first of all I'm going to write what is a schema. Okay, so a schema is a collection of SQL object. Obviously you can see all the schema collecting what as a SQL object. Everything is object in SQL or any programming languages, right? So schema is a collection. A schema is one kind of container. I can say container or collection of SQL object. A schema is a collection. I can say container. Schema is one kind of container which store database objects. Right? So everybody know whatever stuff we are doing inside, everything is what? This is one kind of object. In this world, everything is object, like as I told in previous video, guys, right? So schema is one kind of container which store the database object. For example, by default, guys, by default, my schema name is DBO. Like I just showed you here, by default the schema name is what? DBO, right? So suppose I given here like EMP, right? DBO dot EMP. So here my table name is EMP and DBO is a schema. So in this table EMP, you can see table employee name, right? So in this table EMP is a table name, okay, and DBO is a schema name, okay. DBO stand for database object. DBA stand for database object. Okay, we can create our own schema. We can create our own schema as well. Okay, clear? So this is our definitions about schema. What is a schema? So schema is one kind of container which stores the database object, right? By default, my schema name is DBO employee. So DBO is a schema here, employee is a table name here. So in this table, employee is a table name, DBO is a schema name. DBO stand for database object. We can create our own schema. Okay. So in next video, we are going to see practically how to create our own schema and how to use it step by step. Okay. So that's it for this video. Thank you so much.